I am the Red Cyclone! Ah!
It's all or nothing, baby. Well, that's what they say. It's up to me now, honey. There ain't no other way. Well, can't you feel the freedom, baby? It's in the air. And I don't have anything but mama, I don't care. And the sun is gonna shine today. And the rain is gonna go away. And the mountains gonna smile on me today. And I think I'm gonna fly today. I'm gonna fly.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Deviljho podcast. We are no signs today. Not yet. I'm here with the Commander Farrell and Mark with the mic.
Yo.
Right about now, it's that time for the verdicts.
Yeah,
And
buddy.
This week was Ant-Man. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Let's get to it. But first, I would also like to say we have a few things on the show besides the verdict. We got I'm gonna put it in the description the link to the PDF for the events up until the middle of April, I think, for Monster Hunter. It's all they put out. I can't give you till May or whatever. This is just what they put out. Capcom put up a PDF that's very, I guess, because people were like, what the hell is what's for what system and everything. It's a handy color-coded PDF that shows you when you'll be able to do these quests and also which ones are exclusive, if at all. So there's that. Also, we're gonna talk about Lord Zakon later on. Lord Drakon, excuse me.
Yes.
We just watched the trailer for the Power Rangers by Boom Comics, you said?
Yes. Boom Comics.
Okay. So there's a series that they're doing and there's a trailer for it, and surprise, Tommy Oliver is Lord Drakon. So we're gonna get into that.
Yes. He went
so-
heel.
Full heel turn. See, somebody did it. Somebody
Yes.
did it. John Cena, where you at?
He did it before John Cena.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And he's older.
Dude.
Well, actually, no. He was heel. At
He
first.
was-
at
started out
first.
heel.
At
Well,
first,
he was like Cena. He started as heel, then he became good, and he stood good.
Well, I don't know about ruthless aggression, Cena. He was kind of like
Anti-hero.
No, he was heel. He was a heel. He was stabbing motherfuckers in clubs and shit.
What? All right, listen. Wait a second.
Ruthless
All right.
aggression.
Listen, wrestling was different back in those times, which is
Yeah.
wild.
He beat people with that chain.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
You
With
know
the
what I
lock
mean?
on it, too.
With the lock on, with the master lock. Who remembers the master lock?
Who remembers Bumpy Knuckles? Remember his boy Bumpy Knuckles?
Bumpy Knuckles.
He was a bad man. All right, listen, we going. We can go
It's a
too
bad
far.
man. It's a bad man.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about Ant-Man since we're continuing on with the canon movies in the MCU leading up to Infinity War. And so, Mert, I know you saw it
Yes.
recently.
I watched it yesterday, actually.
I'm sure, Commander, you saw it in your travels, but just in case you're not
Certainly
too fresh.
have.
But you can still join in on conversation. I saw it very recently as well, so it's still fresh in my mind. So let's get down to that. Now, tell me your thoughts, Merc.
Okay, so first things first. So the last quite a few movies besides Guardians of the Galaxy, it was kind of a down part. It was just like pretty dark in that
bad
sense.
vibes.
So Guardians kind of lifted up, and then Ant-Man kind of lifted it up in that way. Also, it was more comedy-based action than it being the full-blown like Marvel, the basic Marvel stuff. It was more hit to be comedy than anything.
I think it played well to the strength of the main character. Like
Exactly.
this. Okay, do you know? Because I know this is the story of Scott Lang, right?
Yeah.
And he's played by
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. Now, do you know if this was faithful at all to the Scott the Lang character? Was he a funny character or anything like that?
Yeah,
Jack of all trades, like
he was a jack of all trades. He was the one that was kind of a criminal and things like that. See, I was happy that they kind of went with with Scott Lang than Hank Pym, because Hank Pym in the MCU doesn't really fit because what he is in the comic is kind of fucked up in a way.
Yeah, he's not really the best like hero.
He's not. He's a fucking dick.
Oh yeah. Now, yeah.
He beat his wife. He beat.
Yeah, they really went full blown like just dysfunction with him.
Yeah. He had abuse of his wife. He abused the powers of Avengers. He created Ultron, so the Avengers would stop. Well, he created Ultron to stop the Avengers if they fucked up. So he created Voltron with kind of intentions to kill the Avengers.
Yeah.
And he bailed him off of Wonder Man. If you in the comics, and Vision is also off of Ultron, which again off of Wonder Man.
Yes.
But Hank Pym doesn't have a really good rap in the comic books at all. Especially after beating his wife in the comic book. That was the first time you actually see domestic dispute in a comic book.
Gotcha. And it wasn't just some nameless criminal doing
it was his fucking hero slapping his wife up. One of my favorite things of it was in The Ultimates.
Yes.
I remember when Captain America found out that she was getting abused by him. And he went to the bar where he was at and he told him to grow so I could fuck you up.
Oh, wow.
Wow. And that was one of my favorite scenes with Captain America. It shows like the kind of mentality he was in that comic, and he was just like, "You grow, so this fight could be even."
That's great.
Yeah,
Did he do it?
Yeah, he busted his ass.
Wow. All right.
He punched him. He broke his gigantic nose. Yeah. So Hank Pym doesn't have a really big good history, but the way they did Hank Pym here made sense.
Well, they changed it. They changed everything completely, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, he's not a womanizer. Well, he's not a wife beater. I don't know about a womanizer, but he's not a wife beater.
No, he's not a wife beater, and he was the one that created the Hank particles, the Pym particles, and all that stuff. So that's still in constant, but it had to deal with the beginning of Shield, the way he created the Pym particles, and not just him creating it to create it for himself. He did it for Shield.
Okay, gotcha.
He was one of the heads of Shield.
All right, cool. Oh.
Yeah. And then he kind of stopped once his wife died, which we will get into it more. And
go on. I'm sorry.
So he just kind of like lay low. He'll go for certain things, but most of the time he laid low.
Cool. So that plays into the reason why Michael Douglas, who plays him in this movie, he really doesn't want to be out in the open for any of the stuff he does.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
He doesn't want what he's doing. He doesn't want to go into the wrong hands.
Yeah.
And
which seems, very smart, but when you know the character, that seems kind of like, huh?
And he also didn't have trust in Stark, so he didn't want Stark to have it either.
I understood.
He trusted Agent Carter. He trusted Agent Carter, but that was the only person he actually trusted.
Gotcha.
Because he saw Agent Carter there.
Yeah, true.
You saw Peggy,
because yeah. They actually do. There's another credit to this movie is that this also ties things in this universe together.
Yeah,
like you get to see the characters interact with each other, and it fleshes out further the universe. Even though this movie is way down the line, it's still continuing to flesh out the universe. So, all right. So tell me, because this movie has a bunch of like underrated characters in it. I know you're saying Michael Pena is one of your favorite characters. He's mine.
Yes.
He's hilarious in this movie.
He must tell the recap of Infinity War. That would be so amazing.
It really would be. It really would be. I love Ant-Man's band of merry men. His squad, if you will, of thieves that try to keep, get him when he tries to be the hero and pull himself out, they pull him back in.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And that's like a recurring theme. Like even early on in the movie, he's dealing with because he's a divorced parent. But was he really divorced, or did he just go to jail?
He went to jail and he's divorced.
Like that ended the marriage there.
Yeah, pretty much ended the marriage, and he had a daughter. That's pretty much what he just cared about. He wanted to see his daughter, and a lot of things he did was mainly for his daughter.
Wait for his daughter. Yeah, they set that like early on in the movie.
Yeah,
but it's all played very well. It's just like the charm and the comedy in this movie is really good because there's some funny things that happen at the birthday party.
Yeah,
and it's hilarious. So what did you think about just the direction of this movie? How did it flow together for you? Because for me, it felt like a Paul Rudd movie.
So, little history before the movie like actually took place. Originally, Scott Wright was originally supposed to direct it.
Okay.
So it would have had more of that campy feel to what he does in his movies. They kept the script. They kept the same script. They just changed a bunch of things that Marvel didn't really want to use, and he wanted to use. So he kind of pushed off because of that.
Okay.
So they kind of kept the same script. So it was meant to be a comedy. It was meant to be a funny movie. It was meant to have some humor and a lot of that jazz into it. I did like this movie in the sense that it just gave you something a lot different than what we were getting before. And it was just a different character. You never seen a character like this on a movie before. You never see someone shrink so tiny, and you see the this. It made everything look so crazy when you actually saw it. This is one of the few movies that I would see IMAX just to see the effects.
Shit,
This is what Inner Space, which they had 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Got you. Because when he turns, you can see all the particles in the air. You get like the detail on the insects that he commands.
Yeah.
Like there's so much. Again, this was already after I guess Marvel has gotten their CG. Well, this is like Disney. This is Disney's arm, really.
Yeah.
But again, the CG just amazing.
Yeah.
Nothing to ever really pull you out of the movie. And this is a testament to I guess those animators and whatnot. But like, I remember Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and you remember the ants when they shrunk down and how they looked and whatnot. And I was like, those were practical effects because some of those they actually use the physical pieces and prosthetics and stuff to make those ants and whatnot. And like this stuff looks pretty good. Like you'd be hard pressed to go, is that really a CG ant?
Yeah, they did a really good job actually showing those ants and how they changed the way it looks and the different ants they have and all the features they had. It was pretty dope how they did all that. And how they just messed with a lot of things like shrinking and how like the whole battle scene towards the end with the train with the Thompson train engine going big, going small, things like that. I thought that was pretty like it was pretty freaking creative with it. Like when he hit, like it looks like he's gonna hit really hard, and then they go by the girl. So,
not for nothing, that's one of the best fight scenes in any movie. That shit is so ridiculous. It's so bad, but like in the good way. It's like when you watch it from afar, this is what it looks like.
Yeah,
that shit is hilarious.
Paul Rudd as a character, I liked him as Scott Lang a lot. Wasp, what she will become Wasp later on. She's the daughter of Hank Pym, Hope. So she's gonna end up being the Wasp down the road, probably in the sequel.
To see, even that's another big change too.
Yeah,
because that was in the comics. Hank Pym's wife is the lady who would be the wife, not Scott Lang's wife. So I mean not Scott Lang's assistant. So / love interest or whatever, so
or Hank Pym's daughter. But in the comic books, eventually Hope becomes a giant man and not a wasp.
Oh really?
She takes Hope is Pym's daughter, like an strange daughter, but Scott Lang taught her how to be the giant.
So wait, do they not? So since this is not Janet Van Dyne, this is supposed to be the actual daughter of Hank Pym?
Yeah,
like from the books and everything.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah, because she died in the comic.
Oh, they keep
in the movie.
Got you. They keep. Yeah. I'm forgetting that they keeping that. Some of those things like that. I forget that she's the daughter of the mother of the original Wasp. Gotcha.
Yeah. So basically, she's pretty much dead. So they're using the daughter that pretty much was introduced. She was introduced a couple years ago in the Young Avengers. That's where she was introduced.
Okay. So it's a current character. It's just different story thing.
Yeah, and she was her name was Hope, and she was more of a giant. Then she had the giant particles. She didn't have the shrinking one until later on.
Okay.
And then she started teaming up with actually Scott Lang.
All right.
He was training her how to use the ant. Yeah.
All right.
That's cool.
The suit was cool. I like the suit. I like that it kept it traditional to what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go crazy overboard because there was an all red suit for a second too, which is the third Ant-Man.
Okay.
There's like a bunch of Ant-Mans. There's like 3 Ant-Mans, and then Hank Pym had like 5 different names, and it's crazy in that sense because you had Yellow Jacket, you had Ant-Man, you had Giant Man, you had Goliath, and you had and you had something else, and he just had so many damn names.
Mm-hmm. And like half of them, he was bad, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Yeah, Hank Pym is a hell of a character.
Yeah, he's like a identity crisis motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they changed the villain. Also, the guy that took over Yellow Jacket, which was a dude that was pretty much trying to get Hank Pym's particle accelerator right, and so he finally got it right to an extent. So he created the Yellow Jacket suit.
And yeah, I like the dynamic of between the two because they established early on that Hank doesn't trust him.
Yeah.
Because he does have the working particles.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to tell him.
Exactly.
And so that's essentially him not telling him is what creates the villain. Because when he finds out it works, then that's when the jealousy kicks in and he's bound to show him up. So he speeds up his process on fixing whatever his version of the thing is, and that's when we get he is Yellow Jacket, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where we get the Yellow Jacket from.
So yeah, going into that, I again, this was a really fun movie. I think the surrounding characters actually played a good role into this also. I think they were just as fun as the whole movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Stanley's little scene, which was pretty much part of Michael Pena's story at the end.
Mm-hmm.
This also led into the Civil War.
This is true. Gotcha.
And also you had the appearance of Falcon because he had to steal something at the Avengers headquarters.
Yeah.
Which was supposed to be an abandoned warehouse, but it lined up being the new Avengers headquarters.
Oh, snap. Yeah, that was pretty funny, the interaction between those two.
Yeah.
It's just written so well. Like, most of every scene is just, I don't know if they set it up chapter wise, like if you were to watch it on DVD, but just every section of the movie was just very enjoyable to watch. There was, if you watch this movie in particular, this was one that anybody of any age really would fall in love with. This is like, besides Guardians, it's probably like the most endearing Marvel movie.
Yeah, and this was in the same boat as Guardians also. This was in the same boat as Guardians also, that it was a test movie. It was like, let's see how this does, because no one really knows this character.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was the same thing that happened with the Guardians. Is like, that was a test movie to see where it goes.
But you know what? At least they put their all into it. And they didn't go half hog. So I guess that's the formula. Is like, you're gonna do it all the way.
Exactly.
It's a good mind.
Say that again, Jenkins.
It's a good mindset of do it well, do it good. If it flops, we knew, answer we wanted, and we'll move forward.
Yeah.
The hit, we got the answer we wanted. Let's move forward. There's no real.
And they also did the cushion.
Or the not so war, but movie that came before it has already paid for it if it had failed.
Yeah.
Out of the 130 million worldwide, altogether like 519. So it paid for it and marketing.
Yeah. No lie about that. So, if you were to rank this movie, what would you rank it? Like in the, I don't want to say top 5. It's like top 10. Like out of 10, or just out of so far, because we haven't even finished. So out of so far, what would you say?
It would be in the top 10.
Okay.
It'll make the top 10. Maybe not all the way. That probably like 9, 10.
Okay.
Because
okay.
there are like juggernaut of movies that are just that better, but this was a good try on a character that no one fucking knows. And to make it was very creative too.
Yeah, it was.
On the movies, it's literally got its own category. The Guardians, Ant-Man, Stephen Strange, these side films. That's if you want to list it out of there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
No, they are main line though, so you can't push them to the side.
No. I'm not saying that they don't, because they all do. But I kind of still feel like they're in this side subcategory. No, they definitely advanced. They still like these. Okay, let's take a chance over here, movie. The other ones are all pretty safe. The mainline heroes, but Strange, even Black Panther to an extent, even though with his hype, was all sides. You don't feel like with that. So I would say out of those, yeah, it's Guardians is up there with them. The two Guardians, and this, I would say, yeah, in that order: Guardians 1, Guardians 2, and then Ant-Man.
Yeah, I couldn't separate them because they're movies.
Yeah,
and I don't care how big the budget is. I don't care how big the budget is, what person acted in it. So like I couldn't, like everybody, you would put like say Iron Man. You would go, well, Iron Man's the OG. Iron Man starring XYZ, and Iron Man is just the beloved movie, but you could still hold it in contention of mainline Marvel movies. Still go shoot your favorite, shoot your favorite. Which one?
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
It's just like, yeah,
gotcha.
It's still a Marvel movie. It's like I'm not gonna separate Dick Donner's Superman movie from the rest of the Superman movies. It's just still a Superman movie.
Gotcha. Okay, so I agree. So in that vein, it's still, Winter Soldier #1 later.
Yeah.
No, but I'm asking like, and if you can, because the whole, well, not the entire, but part of what we're doing is like going through all of them in a row. So if you can think of any to list it above or below.
Oh, it's above Iron Man 2 for me. For me personally,
I barely hear you, dude.
Oh, apologize. Is this better? I pulled it closer to my face.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a 2 and 3 for, if that's how you meant, like from what we've seen so far.
Yeah. We're going because we haven't done all of them. Yeah, we haven't done all of them. Yeah.
Above that, just for sheer that tying Age of Ultron with me. Because I enjoyed Age of Ultron and I liked the villain, but for the most fine. It was just fine.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that's how I'd probably rank it up there. With that.
Gotcha. Okay.
At the bottom of the list, because I know Winter Soldier are still top. One is still top. So top. So.
Okay. Cool.
I'll say mine will be. It'll be It'll be over the two Iron Man 2 and 3. It'll be over Thor: The Dark World. It'll be again. Like I agree with Jenkins being tied with Age of Ultron, or maybe being over it because I did enjoy this bit more than Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
I think Age of Ultron was just a catalyst of how everything just combined together. So that's the reason why rewatching Age of Ultron kind of gave me more liking to it because of that. But Ant-Man, I thought it was just a unique tale of a different character. And like he was a thief. He used his thief skills to be a fucking superhero. And then just the whole technology of him shrinking and him like going in that sense of like riding an ant and things like that, it just made things just more fun to watch.
It was like this was a super personal tale. I get it.
Yeah.
This was personal. Other one was like world building. I get it.
Exactly. So I think that's one thing it holds dear to my heart. I think it would be like number 7, number 8 to me.
Okay. If I was to try to put them in order, I would say Cap 1, Cap 2, Guardians, and then this for me.
Yeah.
And then we fall Iron Man after that, and then you know what? I do like the first Avengers. I'd probably say Iron Man, Avengers, Avengers 2. I think that's all we've gotten to, because I basically said everything else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, next week will be Civil War, so that's gonna be that's a big one right there. But the ones that we reviewed so far, will be Winter Soldier, it'll be Guardians, it'll be Iron Man 1, Avengers,
Okay.
Cap 1, Thor 2.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Thor 2. Those
Well,
would be at the bottom.
it would
for
be
me.
Ant-Man. No, Ant-Man would be number 6, then Thor 2, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What else?
Moving on.
Want to talk them Power Rangers? Oh, you want
Yes.
to
Talk them Power Rangers.
All right, so Power Rangers has a comic book out by Boom Studios. It's been very, very popular since its debut. They're doing a big ass crossover with every single Ranger of all the timelines in Power Rangers. They're actually making it kind of their own multiverse in that way, and they're doing something called the Shattered Grid,
Okay. All
which
right.
is the morphing grid. And one of the main villains, and they introduced him about a year ago, about a year ago, is Lord Drakon. Lord Drakon is Tommy. It's
Yes.
Tommy Oliver, but he combined his powers of the Dragon Zord and Tiger Zord mixed together.
Nice.
The way he did it was kind of crazy in a way. He did kill a lot of Rangers. He killed a lot of the monsters as well, and he just took the ranks of Lord Mazagod, or what the fuck his name is, the big ass lava monster. He's supposed to be the kingpin.
That's the one from not from space, right?
Turbo. He was in Turbo.
He was in Turbo. Oh, yeah. I remember.
So he destroys him.
Okay.
He destroys him pretty much, and he's pretty much Thanos of the Power Ranger universe right now. As in, he's combining his own teams and shit like that to destroy every other Ranger.
Okay.
And that he's but Tommy Oliver, the guy that played Tommy Oliver, Jason Frank, he did a trailer for it.
Yeah,
it
was
released.
pretty dope.
Definitely check it out on YouTube. It'll probably be on the link below.
Yes, the links, it will be in the description.
Definitely check it out. Definitely check out that comic book. It's really good. They do have the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger comic, which is probably in the 30s now. They do have the big ass book volume that you could buy one and has all the issues in it. And then also check out their Go Power Ranger story arc as well, because it gives you a different perspective of the main story as well.
Gotcha. Understood.
Yeah. Talking about other things that had a trailer, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles just had a trailer to release.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Release the full title.
They're moving full steam ahead. Oh, there's so much stuff coming, and that's not till September, right?
Yeah. So they did introduce they actually had the motion and stuff like that. I don't mind the animation, the way it looks. I'm fine with. The turtles themselves, I could probably get used to it. It's not a big deal in that sense. But I think I have to just watch the full episode and just see how it goes with the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a typical Ninja Turtle trailer, like, yay, Cowabunga, yay, we use weapons, yay, we do this. Look, April fights too, and things like that. From there.
Alright, and we're gonna take a little break right here, just to remind you to follow us on Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, also on SoundCloud. What we do is we have this podcast, the Icky Spit Right Swear podcast. We also have the Wrestling Babble podcast. That's hosted by Merc with the Mic, who's a frequent guest on my show. And that should be on Merc with the Mic on SoundCloud. We post those on YouTube as well. So you can check the Merc with the Mic podcast out on his YouTube channel, which is also Merc with the Mic. And also, you can catch the It Gets Better I Swear podcast, as well as the various other playthroughs on the RedCycloneInc YouTube channel. Thank you.
Yeah, Rise of the Turtles pretty much is going to more of a mystical style. So their weapons are all mystical. They have like these flames around them and stuff like that. Again, we don't know the full video, full what's going to be.
There you go. So I'll just finish the thought real quick. Sorry to interrupt, but just to finish the thought, I was like, I don't feel like I want them to go back to like this is Turtles Year 1. This is going back to them. Oh, they don't really have it together as a team yet. They're still very green. They're still just getting started. And I'm like, how many times?
Yeah, how many
times we got to reboot? You know what I mean? I don't mind a new series, but can we just go somewhere else? Like for me, and this is a personal pet peeve. So nothing to the writers, nothing to the Nickelodeon with that. I want to go to a Turtles where they're more like, of course, the '80s Turtles, or even like the movie Turtles. Get them closer to full-grown teams, 17, 18 years old, and give me a grown April O'Neil. Write me some better stories. You know what I mean? The fact that, they keep bringing April back young, which I get, right? It's a kid's cartoon.
Yeah.
I gotta understand that part where like, I'm not their target demographic. I'm just not. So, but it's like, but still, you don't have to, we're going even further back. They're just getting started. It's like, okay, all right.
I think they had something really good with the 2012 series. They could have just involved that one and actually made it 2D.
Gotcha.
That keep the same writer, same voice acting, and everything like that. I think that cartoon was fucking great. That was probably one of my favorite versions of Ninja Turtles throughout the whole storyline. They actually had a really great story to tell. And even though April, I don't care about the April O'Neil thing of being old or young or shit like that. As long as she interacts with the Turtles the way she should, I'm fine with that. Because, again, you're not going to be the demographic. It's going to be a young girl. And the fact that they're trying to get girls to watch these things a lot more, they want someone to relate the character as well. And without bringing Venus de Milo, because no one wants her.
Yeah, let's get April, and I was fine with Karai and added those pieces. I even took Irma. Even though that's shenanigans, but wait
a second, was she an original character?
Yeah.
Irma was an old school character. Yeah. Did they bring her back or no?
Yeah, she was like a robot.
Yeah, it was a weird story arc for her, but they did bring her out.
Okay,
which was awesome.
Having just watched the trailer though, my thoughts on it are, it looks funny. The one thing that stood out to me was that Splinter made me laugh. For some reason, his little fat ass made me laugh.
The good voice acting there. Also, I was saying that when we saw the still. I agree.
Yeah. Also, April looks like the main daughter from Baby's Kids.
Yes, she does.
She looks literally like this. Is if I need to do a split screen that. She looks like Baby's Kids.
We don't die, we multiply.
But other than that, first impression, it made me laugh. So I'm gonna check it out. So
definitely, yeah. That being said, it sounds like we're all on agreements. We're going to watch it when it comes out. We're going to give it the old college try. I don't think I'm going to be turned off to it at all. I think I'm just going to enjoy it.
I think I am.
So it's Turtles. You got to do a real crap job to make a bad Turtles thing.
No.
You got to be.
They've done it more than once.
You got to keep bringing up Venus.
Or put him in space and add Venus de Milo.
The Ninja Turtles had a lot of dark times, dude. I've been through it all. I've seen it all.
I mean, Turtles 3 was a thing.
You know what's bad? I prefer Turtles 3 over the Michael Bay movies.
You know what?
That's a strong statement.
Them Japanese dudes made me laugh, though.
They were funny.
Made me laugh.
I've been through it all with Ninja Turtles because I'm a big Turtles fan and I follow the comics, I follow the games, I followed everything that had to do with Ninja Turtles. To this day, I had the Image comics, I had the Image versions of the Ninja Turtles, which were brolic motherfuckers. One looked like Leonardo, looked like Thor, Raph looked like Shatterstar, things like that.
If you haven't, by the way, Mr. Louis Beans, do yourself a favor, because they're all on YouTube on the Nickelodeon page. Watch the summertime shorts. Watch
they're great.
They're all amazing.
All right.
They take different artists, they take different storylines, they take different versions. Like one of the versions of the Turtles are in the future 2093, and they're fucking mechs, and they're piloted by these kids. And it's like all this little story arcs, and they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Like those shorts were amazing. I when I was just watching them with the kids, one after another. I'm like these are great.
One of them was animated actually by Eastman.
Nice.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, he did one of them.
Okay, that's dope.
So yeah, they're all pretty nice. The mech one was pretty cool. It has a cool ending. To the whole story arc and shit like that. So it was actually really cool what they did that. Again, I really have a lot of memories with the Turtles 2012 series. I love that series. Even the 2003 one was good for the part, except for when it went in time. And the fast forward bullshit, that was terrible. But other than that, it was mostly good. And yeah, there's a lot of ways you can fuck it up.
That was a series?
Yeah.
Turtles Fast Forward, right?
Yeah. It was a series after the 2003 one.
Holy shit.
But they combined that whole thing together because when that one ends, it goes back to the tour, which is the ending of that series.
Gotcha.
So they combined that all together.
Okay.
But Fast Forward was terrible. And then you also had the Next Mutation, which was terrible.
We not to speak of.
And then you also had season 6 through 9 of the original cartoon, which was fucking terrible.
Man, listen, you go back and watch that old Turtles cartoon, and you just start to rethink your life. You start going, I watched this shit.
You know,
Yeah.
What's funny is that I watched them like not so long ago. I watched the whole thing, and from season 1 through 4, they're great. They're funny. They're hilarious. You get a good laugh out of Shredder. You get a good laugh out of Bebop and Rocksteady. All the characters are really funny.
I like to watch the glaring animation errors. But go on.
That is hilarious. I was gonna say that that's part of the charm.
Yes, it is.
But I have a question, Mark. Those seasons you watched, what did James Avery voice Shredder through the entire thing?
To season 5.
Till season 5? Okay. All right. Okay.
And he was hilarious.
Yeah, I know. Like, okay, here's my thing. When I was watching and he was Shredder, you could tell that cartoon was very smartly written.
Yeah.
Like cleverly written, not smart. It was cleverly written. Like there was a lot of good jokes in that cartoon.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. I mean, listen. Hopefully, it turns out good. I got high hopes for it now.
Certainly. Hey, you want to do a quick side verdict with no spoilers? We did watch a movie today.
Oh, we saw Pacific Rim.
So Pacific Rim Uprising. Yep.
Please do so.
Yeah, like I was explaining earlier. Yeah, we were like, this is very Sentai. It's very anime. It's very. But I think we both agree. It's like for me, it just felt like an episode 2. Like this could be a show. The movie itself, like the storyline was fine. It's not as well written, and I guess you'll take that with a grain of salt, as the first one, as a cohesive, closed thing as a movie. Like the first movie could have not had a sequel. Could have not. They could have not done a Pacific Rim 2. But since they did, they needed a story to the reason why we're doing this again. You know what I mean? And it was fine. The way they pulled it out was fine. It had some interesting moments. But what I would say, it's just a fun ride. It was a fun ride. CG, good job. Why can't Michael Bay make robots like they do in Pacific Rim? Anyways, they don't look like junk running around. You know what I mean? They have good weight. They have good weight to them. The Jaegers feel like big, massive fucking roars. So they just. But anyway, I enjoyed it very much. Was it a great movie? No, it was not a great movie. it was fine.
That said, you didn't enjoy it better than the first one.
No, I didn't enjoy it better than the first one. No, I could watch the first one again and still get some good feels out of it. This one I could watch it again and just, if someone didn't see it, I'd show it to them. Like, I'll probably see it again when I'm able to show the wife. And like, hey, look at this. This was fun because it had some fun moments. John Boyega was fine. He played Idris Elba's character's son. Pentecost, right? Pentecost.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it was just a good time, and it didn't overstay its welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, it was quite short for a kind of movie like that.
Yeah. So, your thoughts?
I agree. It was a fun movie. Again, a lot of Power Ranger vibe to it. One of my big things was he actually made the monster grow.
yeah.
What?
So,
He used
I
a-
didn't want to.
He used the iPad to make the monster grow.
What?
So- Right. Well, right. Okay. 'Cause you know what? I don't have to say spoiler alert because you didn't say who. So we'll just go with that. I don't want to do a spoiler, but yes, sir, our antagonist in the film, who at some point was on top of a building with the pad, making the monster. Yeah, it was very. Fun.
Did he say it?
No.
He did. That would have been great if he did. If he did, it would have just been amazing. I'd have said, yeah, I would take it back and like, this movie's amazing.
Yeah.
But like I said, it was very anime-ish, meaning, like I said, that your cast got a lot younger than the original cast, and that's a thing, and it's explained in there. They get into the drift better. It's like, ooh, anime.
Yeah.
So it's like, but that takes, for me, that doesn't take away from it. That just makes me appreciate it more because, that's where the roots for this entire series is from. The Pacific Rim. It's like, giant fucking robots, mecha, and fight
Kaiju.
monsters named kaiju.
Yeah.
They're in Jaegers and kaiju. You know what I mean? Even though Jaeger is not a Japanese word, it's a German word.
Yeah.
Do they
For
give-
hunter.
Oh, that's what. Okay.
But
Did the Germans make the robots in the beginning or something? Is that why?
no,
No?
that's just the term they used.
Okay. Gotcha.
Funny enough, in Attack on Titan, that's what they are called. They're called Jaegers.
Oh, okay.
The hunters, yeah.
How about that?
But go on.
One thing I'll give this movie credit to is the animation of the fight scenes. The fight scenes are fucking great. Well, that was one thing I'll give this movie over the first one is the fight scenes because they did it mostly in daytime and then
Yes.
in light areas, so you saw all the fight. So because in the first one it was very dark. It was a very dark movie. It was always at night
Yeah.
and shit like that. So,
Yeah.
but then again, Guillermo del Toro used actual fucking big ass leg and shit instead of using CGI for the whole movie.
He does a lot of practical effects, and it's awesome.
So that's the difference between it. So not trying to copy what he did, they did their own thing with this, and I think it made it fun. I enjoyed it for the most part. I enjoyed the movie. There was little storylines for the first one I wish they elaborate a little more on, but other than that,
Right.
it was good.
Okay. Nice.
Yep. So that's it. Pacific Rim, go see it on a matinee. That's my recommendation. If you're gonna pay for it, go watch it on a matinee, or wait for it to come out.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
I do say still, pay for it because just want to support that kind of thing and still make sure more gets made.
Yes, I understood. Like, it's still just cool as hell that it even exists as
Yes, it is.
as a mainstream thing. Like,
It's fantastic.
remember, we came from robot jocks, dog.
Oh my god. The very limited few who know about robot
coulda
jocks.
it could have stopped there. You know what I'm saying?
You
Listen.
want
At some point, we gotta demand an Omega Boost movie. I'm just saying. We need to.
Have we gotten an Omega Boost movie?
We need
No,
one.
no. You'll get a Metroid movie before you get an Omega Boost movie.
How dare you? We haven't even gotten a Metroid game. Come on, man.
You get a
You make a
robot
good point.
I'm just joking. But like, come on, man. Listen. Do I have to make the music for this podcast?
Yes,
that
do.
song?
Yes, you do. Oh my god, the opening.
Mm-hmm.
You've had the FMV and everything.
Oh, God, that game is so amazing. Yo, Omega Boost. If you've never played it, it's somewhere out there. I have a physical copy, but I believe you can get it on the PSN store. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe? Because it's a Sony game. That's the funny part.
It
was
is
published
yeah.
by Sony. So
I would love a fucking remake, not a remaster.
remake. Yeah, I would love
But
a
I
remake of that.
would love a remake of fucking Omega Boost now.
Whew.
It's like I don't even know what I would do with the actual freedom of a second stick.
You know
Because
what?
there was no stick when that game
You
came out.
could just make it make it easy to lock on the shit. Just wave it around the screen and just.
And I want and I want when you do the Omega Boost cannon that it actually does it like the FMV,
At the
and not what it does in game, because they can do that now.
Yes,
The fucking
can.
cannon. Oh my god, it's one of the dopest things I've ever seen. Like,
And the song just went with it too.
yes, yes.
Oh shit!
Please, yeah. If you don't know what we're talking about, just look up Omega Boost online.
You know
I'm
what?
sure you can
I'm
find
gonna
it.
put that in the show notes too, so people can check
Definitely.
that out. All right. If you guys don't have anything else,
Yep. Get to the news.
no, I'm just asking. You guys don't have anything else?
No.
Not really.
No. Well, I mean, I guess we did talk about during the verdict, so I don't want to make the episode too long.
We got Civil War next week.
Yes, the next episode for the verdict.
That is fresh in my head. 'Cause I
Avengers
watched
Civil War.
both of those recently. Well, it's Captain America Civil War.
Excuse me.
Now,
These movies, I keep going back and
I
forth.
know,
They
it's
keep
like,
having ensembles and
that wasn't a shot on you. It's a very specific reason I say that, because I like Civil War, and I like that even though it's an ensemble, it's still very much a Captain America movie. But
It's
we'll
just
get to that on next week's verdict.
all those people. All I keep thinking is Avengers. I keep forgetting.
Yeah. But like I said, we'll put a pin in that until next week.
All right, y'all. So I'm gonna wrap this episode up. Thank you for listening. This has been another episode of the It Gets Better I Swear podcast. Make sure to check us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, Instagram, Tumblr. What's the Facebook? It's just RedCycloneInc, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
RedCycloneInc is the page, and RedCycloneInc.
So for
is the group.
everything.
No, hate is RedCyclone Inc.
Yeah, so
Oh,
for
okay. It's just all
everything.
the same. Gotcha. Yep.
Wanted to keep it uniform, so everything, all those social media platforms and websites, RedCycloneInc. That's what we go by. Again, thank you for watching, listening. If you caught us live, I mean, you're just looking at a bunch of boxes floating around, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Merc, where can they find you at?
Mike on SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
All right.
Been doing a Saints Row playthrough. I just started,
Nice.
and I realized that there's a lot of copyrighted music, so I might have
Yeah.
to.
Saints Row the Third. Yeah.
And then they call us at
And
the end. Here they
It's
go
like,
to arrest you right
come to
now.
get you for all that copyright music.
Oh man! So
All right,
Civil War
everybody.
next week. Civil
Yeah, man.
War is next week.
You got
And
anything before we go out? Commander Pro, you got anything to link up or nothing up?
Nothing else, but I got some stuff I'm playing in the works. I'm gonna be doing a big relaunch of Commander Feral and whatnot, but mostly underneath the Red Cyclone stuff.
All right, cool.
So you'll see.
Nice.
Oh, and everyone go see Ready Player One.
That
Yes,
is
that's
this
next
week.
as well, so coming up.
Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
We may have a little verdict for that.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for this week. Peace.